with Charlie Brown voices.
I
I would love to see them fight, actually. That would be hilarious. The
Charlie
parents
Brown
are just,
parents
that's
fight.
why they sound like that, because they're fighting all the time and Charlie can't hear it.
They just didn't want to put all the cussing in there, all the bleeps in there.
Yeah.
Wah wah actually means fuck you, you stupid little bitch.
Yeah, and it's
Do
just
the
them
dishes.
screaming. And it sounds like Charlie's like, Mom, can I have $1? Wah, 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 wah. But it's more like her saying, why don't you just go back to your fucking father, you stupid little, you look just fucking like him. Right, that's just Charlie Brown.
When you're home, we're in your head. Lock the doors and close the blinds. Turn on your TV. Turn off your mind.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Well, welcome to Soul of a Gamer.
Soul of a gamer.
We're back. My name is Scott Nell.
I'm Steve McGee.
And every week we play a game. We play a game and we talk to you about it.
Yes. So we give our full in-depth reviews, our first experiences. We try to tell you any challenges that we try to give ourselves or any challenges you've given us that we try to do. Thank you guys all so much for all of you guys who have liked, subscribed, and been watching all of our videos. Any feedback we get and any games you can give us, greatly appreciate it.
And sometimes we touch ourselves.
Some more than
A
others.
lot. Yeah. What's wrong with that? He's pointing towards me for everyone on the audios.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so last week's game was... What was last week's game?
Sleeping Dogs.
I always forget the last week game. We just played it. Sleeping Dogs.
Especially with long games. Too.
I know, right? That game was fun, too. I like that game a lot. And that one was a lot of fun. If you didn't watch that episode, I'd recommend you guys watching that one. And, just the rest of them in general. And some of them are rough. Some of them are a little... Because we were new at it. But we're getting good.
Oh. We're at a dozen episodes now. This is episode number 12.
This is number 12 or number 87 in dog years. So
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
So this week's episode is The Last of Us.
Yes.
This game was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
But it was horrifying. Like
Yes.
Slender Man, I know we said it's a scary game, it's scary, and it was jumpy scary. This one was fucking
This is
terrifying.
atmospheric. Scary.
Yeah, and it's sad. Like, you didn't feel bad for any of the characters in Slender Man. You were like, good, this bitch deserved to die.
Yeah.
But in this one, you're like, oh, man, why did that guy die? No, not him,
Yeah,
too.
no,
Not her. Like, every character, you're like, why did they have to die?
This game was the first ever game that made me cry.
Yeah, well, it's a sad game for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
I cried in the first 16 minutes of this game.
Oh, yeah, the first thing that happens is really sad.
Yeah.
It's not terribly. Although, I will say, everyone says how much they love the main character. I'm like, I don't like him. He is one of the worst main
What?
characters. Yeah,
He's so amazing.
I absolutely hate him so
love
much.
him so
During the
much.
whole game, I'm like, wow. Until the end turnaround, and then he's a complete piece of shit still at the end. And I'm like, wow, he's just a complete piece of shit all throughout this
he
game.
kind of.
That's why-
There is some bad things that he does for sure.
Yeah,
But
all the time.
yeah.
All the time.
I know.
Everything he does is bad.
I wouldn't say everything.
Everything. So, and we'll talk about it, but so this game, it's just purely story based. There's not a lot of around it. There's some mechanical things you can do, like upgrading weapons and
Yeah.
stuff, finding new stuff, like opening secret doors and secret chests and things, or safes, I guess they are. But it's not really like a mission where we have to go too in depth with side stuff, which is nice. And
Yeah, there's no side quest or anything to it. It's an open kind of world. Like you can go different paths to get to the story
Yeah.
or whatever, and there is collectibles in the game, but
Well-
it's not a game that tries to get you to find collectibles.
I wouldn't call it an open world. So originally I
It's
thought
not,
this
yeah.
was an open world game, but it's not.
No.
It's level oriented.
Yeah.
So each level has its own prescribed path that you'll take every time, and you'll end up at the end. You can do extra things around that path, but pretty much you follow that path and you're good.
Yeah.
I did think it was an open world game when I first watched you play it a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Because it looks like one. It kind of
it
resembles
feels
one a lot.
big and open, and a lot of the levels they're not just a lot of times they're not narrow pathways.
Yeah, they're not just
big,
straight
open,
paths,
and
but-
you do get to pick do you want to do this path or this path? You can choose stealthy or aggressive.
That's
So-
pretty much a stealth or aggressive. That's all you do in that game. It's like either you go in guns blazing or you go in with your penis tucked and you hope for the best.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so the concept of this game is, I think it starts in the same year it was released, 2014?
Well, it wasn't. Was it 2014?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought it was
2013.
2011.
No, it wasn't that early. I think I looked it up and it said 2014.
Look it up.
It's okay.
but-
we don't need to look it up.
But basically, yeah, this game is based off of it's zombies with that, but they never actually say zombies.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much
a
zombies.
fungal infection that actually takes over this fungus spreads out spores into the air.
Yeah.
You breathe in the spores,
Yeah.
and then the spores
Yeah.
start to grow inside your head.
Oh wait,
They take over all of your motor
are
functions.
you talking about zombies?
Yes.
Oh shit! So this is a zombie game?
They take over all your motor functions and they turn you into just
Zombies.
mindless beasts.
No,
but they also
otherwise known as
One-
zombies.
The longer the fungus is inside you, the more the fungus grows, and you eventually the fungus grows over your face, and they become clickers.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Just like some zombie games that I know where they specialize some zombies characters, huh?
Well, I haven't seen
Oh,
any
wait, what
that
if
use
it-
echolocation before.
What was the big one called again?
Bloaters.
Oh, a bloater, huh? I've heard that before.
Maybe that was taken from I can't even remember.
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, I don't remember if they were called bloaters or not, but
I
they
don't
might have
remember.
been. Yeah. So the beginning of the game, you're like a little girl. You're the daughter Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah, you're the daughter Sarah who is like looking for the. She's looking for her dad. It's so weird. She's like, Dad.
Well, you're skipping over one of the funniest
What?
lines right at the beginning, though.
Oh yeah, where
So you're sitting there's an opening cinematic, and you're Sarah, and you're sitting on the couch waiting for Joel to get home, the main character
Joel's
of the
the
game.
main shit character.
And he gets home, and she's like all excited, gets a present that she had hid underneath the couch for him, and he opens it up, and he's like, "Oh, it's a watch," and he's like, "It's broken," and she gets all upset,
Yeah.
and she comes over, and he's like, "Oh, it's not broken." He's like, "Oh, I was just kidding," or whatever, and she's like,
I'm
"Jeez."
just a bad dad.
She's dad, and he's like, "How'd you afford this anyways?" And she's like, "Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs."
And I was like, yeah, you should.
And she's like,
By
"Good."
the way, I think this is in Texas too.
I
think
don't
that
remember.
At that point, they're in Texas because they are from Texas.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but because I don't know if it actually says.
It doesn't say in the beginning, but he ends up in Boston, and then he ends up traveling to like Wyoming and
Yeah.
Colorado and Utah. But I think that part of the game is in Texas, and it's only because later on the brother says, "I went back home to Texas, and I got a picture for you," and it's a picture of him and his daughter.
That's
so where
true.
would he have gotten that other than Texas? You know,
That's true.
Like where
So-
would he have lived? Why would that be in
Probably.
Texas? Right?
So yeah, then Joel makes the joke like, "Oh, you can help out with the mortgage then." And she's like, "You wish."
And he's like, "Yeah, I do. I'm struggling. Daughter, please help me."
So yeah, then of course, what happens is what he was saying. You wake up as Sarah, and it's in the middle of the night. The phone's ringing. There's like 30 missed calls. She goes down. The actual landline's dead. But she goes down, and you can go into your dad's room, and you see this news report about something happening in the city. Then you see an
Yeah.
explosion off in the distance, which this game had a really cool things. When things happen in the background, you could hit the left thumbstick in, and it would zoom in
Yeah.
on that in the background, which is kind of cool.
For sure.
And then you go downstairs, and you find your dad's cell phone, and
That's when you see the 30 missed calls and stuff.
from his brother Tommy, which is her uncle, and.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
It's like, "Where are you? I'm coming to get you. I need to find you, blah, 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 blah." Then all of a sudden your dad runs in the back door, frantically looking for his gun. And then you see one of the neighbors
Mm-hmm.
bashing on the door, and he's telling you to get back. And the neighbor comes bashing in.
And he's like, Billy, I'm sorry I borrowed your lawnmower. Billy, I didn't ask, I know. Don't kill me, Billy.
And then he shoots him in the face.
He's like, well, I guess the lawnmower's mine now.
Scratch the lawnmower stuff, but that's exactly what happened.
No. Don't scratch the lawnmower stuff, guys. Just listen to me.
So then, Tommy comes in, takes them all. They all get in the truck, and they're all going to try to escape. Everyone in the city is trying to escape at the time, but the military is trying to confine everyone in the city.
Yeah, so they can blow them up. Good strategy, actually. I would do the same.
It's pretty dark.
Yeah. So you go through and you're like trying to escape, and you're in the truck with because the uncle comes by and picks you up in his truck, and
Yep.
and this is also, I know it's Texas. He's got an old ass pickup truck that is driving, and it's like it's brand new. Because then I'm like, yeah, that's Texas. That's for sure Texas. And you take some roads. The one you end up on, I think, is a completely blocked, right?
Yeah, the first one you go on, they blocked that path.
Go take the other one, yeah, and they go on the other one, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
like a county road-ish, like a dirt road, and you end up in like the downtown part of the city-ish, right?
Yeah, you
and then
kinda,
you're stuck in your car. No, your car gets hit.
Yes.
Yeah, you get hit by another pickup truck because Texas is just filled with pickup
So
trucks.
yeah, you see people frantically like going around crazy. You see gas stations blowing up, people driving into gas stations, blah blah blah. You try driving around a corner and you get T-boned.
Yeah.
And
You're
Sarah
okay.
breaks her leg.
Oh yeah, she does.
So Joel has to carry Sarah, and
So
he
now
gets
you're
Tommy
playing
the
as
gun.
Joel.
Yeah. And so
Tommy is a terrible shot.
pretty much. But yeah, you're running through the city. You start seeing zombies actually coming out and attacking people. You see people on fire running out of buildings.
And
You
while
see-
this is happening, Hall & Oates, You're Making My Dreams Come True is playing. It's like, dun, 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 dun. What I got, you got, might be hard to handle.
no,
Like a flame burns a candle. That'd be great. I love that. That would be the most amazing
it
song.
would totally change the
It
atmosphere.
would. Just watching all these horrible things happen while Hall & Oates is just in the background. That'd be amazing.
I'll make a photo. I'll make an edit for you.
Yes, do that because that would be my favorite thing ever. So yeah, you run through the city, you go through a bunch of obstacles, you end up like a military guy. This guy's an asshole. I don't understand this
Yeah.
bullshit. Where you get to this point where you're about to leave the city, you're like, yeah, I did it. I survived. I did everything right. And then this military guy's like, stop it. Don't move. Hold on a second. Let me check. There's a little girl with him. Kill him anyway? Okay, I got it. And then he shoots you.
Yeah.
And he hits the daughter, unfortunately, and that kills Sarah.
And then Tommy comes in and
It's a
kills
s-
the military
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. It's a slow death though. I don't think
It
he hit her
is
in the
slow.
head.
It
I
hit her in
think-
the stomach.
Yeah, so and that's I don't know if you guys know this, but one of the most painful deaths of all time is actually getting shot in the stomach.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Yeah, no, because you see her bleeding from her stomach, and he
Oh.
grabs her stomach, and then the graphics on this game, even for being a 10-year-old game,
Yeah, honestly,
is
it was so
insane.
fucking insane. It looks like the new Red Dead Redemption.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like the graphics on this, like
They-
you see her tears, you see
Yeah.
Joel's tears as he's crying. She's like whimpering in pain.
Yeah.
And it's
don't
just-
do that.
oh.
Ever again, please, Scott. No, stop. Just stop.
Sorry, guys, I just had to.
So she's whimpering, she dies, and then it skips 20 years.
Yes.
And he must have been he was young. He was, because he said he had Sarah young later on.
Yeah.
I don't know how old Joel is, but he doesn't look a day older 20 years later.
He does look a little
He's
older.
got some gray in his beard, and that's
Yeah.
what his oldness looks like.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's probably in his like 40s.
Like late 40s, I think. Yeah.
about now.
So 20 years later, he's like a smuggler of some kind?
Yeah, and he's friends with this girl Tess now, and
Friends with benefits, I bet.
yes, they are friends with benefits. It does
Yes.
kind of fully imply that throughout
Yeah.
the show. But yeah, they're friends with benefits, and they smuggle stuff outside of the city and for the city, and they always try to go around curfews and stuff like that and go against the military.
Because it's 20 years later and there's been no production of anything. Basically, any drugs are valuable, food is valuable,
Weapons are valuable.
Weapons are really valuable.
Which that's mainly what Tess is always trying to get is weapons.
Yeah, weapons, because there's a big market for weapons because two sides need them.
Which, I'll go ahead and say this. Did you know that the story was almost actually completely different? Originally, Tess was the main bad guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
So originally, the crew that Tess runs with at the beginning that actually you end up killing.
Yeah.
She actually is grouped up with them, and you're actually good friends with Marlene in the original story.
I hated Marlene.
I know. Marlene's the worst.
worst character in
But
that
yeah,
whole
the
story.
original story was actually had Tess as the main villain.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they rewrote it.
Well, that's good because I think Tess got a good little thing in there. I think she made her personality though. They did this whole weird thing with everybody in this stupid game where everyone's personality suddenly shifted. Right? So originally Tess is like this like hardcore badass, like we're not deviating from the plan. We're gonna keep everything the same. And then suddenly she's like, we need to save the world.
Well, it was because of things that had happened to her. Though.
No, I think it's just because of poor writing. Actually, that's what I'm thinking.
No, I think it's brilliant writing. I think
No,
this has got the
no.
best writing of any video
So
game
it does
ever
have good
made.
writing, but I think character writing was flawed. I think they did a bad job with the character writing. Only a few
I don't
characters
think
in there
so.
are cool, and then when I get into more examples, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, you're right."
I don't think so.
So-
I've played this game 7 times and I absolutely love this.
So you go through and you do this big weapon thing because somebody owes you money, and you go kill everyone in his gang, and then you kill him, and then you go find this girl named Marlene, and there's two factions. There's like the military from the original U.S. military, and then there's the Fireflies, who are like an anti-militaristic group who want more freedom. But it never really defines their end goal. It's like, we are going to find a cure. And I'm like, I think everybody wants to find a cure.
And it doesn't seem like the military was going for a cure anymore. It seems
Well,
like
yeah,
the
because they
military was
understood that
just
it's
trying to
bullshit.
confine
Yes.
people. The military gave up on a cure long ago. Fireflies are pretty much the only ones trying to still do it.
Yeah, but it's just weird that they... I don't know. It's weird that there's an anti-military. Like, I don't know. That whole thing is, like, strange that everyone's against each other when there's, like, an apocalypse happening.
It's kind of how the world would be, honestly. I don't
Yeah.
think even if we had like aliens come down, we'd have people in this world who'd be
Infighting.
like, we should protect
Well,
the
for
aliens.
resources.
We should befriend the aliens. We should kill all the aliens. Like,
Yeah.
we're always going to be separated. And I think that
Also, did you notice that there's no real leadership in the game as you go through?
besides, Marlene for the Fireflies,
That's it.
but there is no like
military.
It never
leader?
tells
have-
you a military
Yeah,
leader.
you never like I almost thought it would be like a Big Brother thing where you see a guy's picture and it's like, "We're all safe. Follow me and you'll be saved." Like I expected that in there
You
somewhere.
were expecting like a Bioshock Comstock
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, something like that. But no, you never hear that in the whole game. But I get it's not the focus, but it, adding to the background of games is really cool because you learn more about the world and stuff.
I think, I think the military was just basically I don't even know if there really was anyone.
I
like,
don't
in
think there's any
control.
organized. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was per city.
So
So
I
it seemed
think
like a lot of the zones that you end up in are completely just abandoned.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. I don't think there's actually a big like organization for the military, which is
Yeah.
why they didn't have a face and why you didn't really. There wasn't much in the game where you were doing anything with the military. Like the military came after you sometimes, but like you didn't
some
have to do
reason.
anything towards the military.
They're wasting a lot of resources going after people leaving the city. 3 people. 3 people.
Yeah.
3. That's it. Not like 93.
And yeah, they have this special like machines that can tell if you're infected and everything like
Yeah.
that. And they have these special masks that you can wear so you don't breathe in spores for everyone who does have to go out.
Yeah, so the spores aren't like everywhere too. They end up concentrated in certain areas, but they're not like, and they're small areas. They're not like giant open fields or anything because wind would blow them away. They're in like basements of buildings and closed off buildings and stuff like that. In the subway, I think there was some.
Yeah.
So anyway, you meet Marlene and she has a mission for you. You go. The only reason you go to Marlene is because the guy says that she has your guns.
Yes.
So this whole thing started out with you wanting your guns back, and then this guy that had them gave them to someone else for debt, and that's Marlene. You go to Marlene, and she's like, "I'll give you your guns if you do something for me." And I was like, "Bitch, those are my guns, mine. They were not yours. You stole them."
Well, she didn't steal them.
Well, she basically did.
No, it was all the other guy's fault. They already messed with him.
No, she knew. She totally knew. I think Marlene knew all along. She was a complete
She
bitch
might
from
have,
the
but
beginning.
it wasn't. He owed both people either
Yeah.
way. So
Yeah, but she ends up saying, like, "All right, you got to bring this little girl somewhere." And I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm not human trafficking here. Come on, Marlene. This isn't cool. Which Prince of Persia are you selling this to?
so this is where you meet Ellie,
Who's the other main character?
and you don't know anything about Ellie. You just know that you need to transport her to another Firefly group outside of the city.
Yeah, not far.
No.
Not like crazy out there.
I think they said it was like maybe like 8 hours or 10 hours
Yeah,
away
yeah,
from
yeah.
where they were.
In the
walking
city
wise.
proper,
Yeah.
That city was fucking sweet. The first city.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only one that was really cool.
I like that one, and I did like when they were in Colorado.
Oh yeah, it's cool to see them in areas we are familiar with, but like that city, just the way it looked, being in the skyscraper and stuff, that was fucking sweet.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Which one of the things I got to say about the city aesthetics and stuff that I think is just absolutely beautiful is like because it is a fungus that has taken over, a lot of the growth of the plants and plant life and everything has actually grown onto the buildings.
Oh no,
and
well,
around the
it
buildings.
wouldn't have mattered what taken over. That's gonna happen anyway. So plant growth is normal.
Well, yeah.
The only reason we don't see it is because we maintain it.
Yeah.
So just anything that would have happened that got humans out of the way, they're coming in.
Well, I mean, it was still just cool either way.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked seeing how green some of the areas in this game were.
It made it look cool for sure. Some of those areas underneath where like you saw this clear water and you're like, how is it so clear?
Yeah.
Why hasn't anyone shitting it yet?
Because they're dead.
Because they're dead. Also, it never explains that about the fungus people. Do they shit and piss? Are they just defecating all over themselves all the time?
They probably just
They're not eating
defecating
any-
when they're defecating.
I
Like,
guess,
it's
that's
just
just
coming out
weird.
of them. It's just not like they're controlling
They
when
they
do
never
or
explain
not.
this in any movie where like somebody has lost their ability to move on their own. It's like, well, do they still do the things that normal people
Well, I don't
do?
know, because I don't know if their digestive system would necessarily work
Well, you
the
don't
same
always
way.
you don't always poop food. That's the weird thing. So
I know, but I don't know if their organs would be working to
Right.
digest and like do
Yeah,
all
and
the stuff
see,
that
again,
makes you poop
yeah,
and
yeah.
makes you pee.
And this is the weird part too, because even when a parasite takes over like an insect, they still do all those things. So it's just weird.
It's just a gross fact that no one's really put on screen.
They need to. I want to watch it. I want to see it happen. But yeah, you end up with this little girl. You have to bring her to these Firefly group. The only reason you have to do this is Marlene is injured and her group is dead.
Yes,
That was the big thing that.
because they just had a big battle with the military.
Yeah,
and
for
a
some
lot of
reason
them
they
got
thought they
killed
could
and
beat a
shot,
tank.
and- yeah,
Listen, I've got a Molotov. I'm gonna throw it at this tank. I got this.
Sheila.
Yeah, the,
Red vs. Blue reference for all those who
Yeah.
don't know.
You end up outside the city because smugglers, you know a way out. Like
Yes.
you know all this stuff, and then it's revealed. Is it revealed right away? No,
What
it's
are you talking
revealed
about?
later.
Oh, later, yeah.
So as you're getting her to the point where the Fireflies are, I think this is after the first military.
Yes, it's when the military first captures them that you find out the secret about Ellie.
Yeah, because the Ellie shoots one of them, I think.
Yes, because
They have, like, the sensor.
So they have the sensor. They sense Tess. She's clean. They sense Joel. She's clean. They sense Ellie. Ellie grabs the dude's gun, shoots him in the face.
Yeah.
Before he can say anything. Then Joel, you have take over. You kill the rest of the military guys right there. And then it goes to another cutscene where Tess actually picks up the scanner and sees that it's positive for infection.
Yeah.
And then Ellie's like, no. I'm immune. That's why you're transporting me.
Yeah.
Because the entire time Tess and Joel were fighting along the way and trying to get information out of her, like, who are you? Are
Yeah.
you some dignified person's daughter? Are you some like military leader? Are you like, blah, like, who are you? Like, why are we transporting? Why are you so important? And then she said that she was bit over a month ago. And it hasn't changed at all. It's actually been healing.
So normally the bite changes you within the hour.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's like
quick.
a couple hours, right?
Yeah,
Because
depending on the person, depending on like where they got bit, it
Yeah.
could be like 1 to like 4 hours or something
it's
like that.
not long.
No, it's very not long at
Yeah.
all. Before they completely lose all memory and brain function.
Yeah.
So yeah, then you keep
Tess
traveling
decides
through.
to keep transporting because Joel immediately wants to give up. He's like, all right, let's just fucking throw her out to the wolves.
He doesn't believe in a cure.
No. He is just an asshole.
No, he doesn't believe in a cure, and he doesn't want to be with someone the same because he hasn't been around anyone his daughter's age since his daughter's death.
No. He is literally just an asshole. He's just. He goes, I've got so many points on this. Every time you're going to say something, be like, oh, this is the part where Joel fucked a bear and then shot it in the face. He's an asshole. Oh, no, the bear was asking for it.
I'm not saying he's not an asshole, but I am saying these are the reasons why he did those things.
I think
Whether
it's
he's an
'cause
asshole about it or not,
I think he's an asshole.
These are
I
the
think-
reasons why.
I don't think he did it because of his daughter. I literally think he did it because he's just an asshole.
I think you need to play it again before you say that.
He's such an asshole.
He is an asshole at parts, but it's.
Yeah,
Whatever.
even his like sympathetic moments, you're like, you're being creepy, dude.
I don't think so. I honestly think Joel's one of my favorite characters in any video game, but
Yeah, so you transport her to the Fireflies. You end up like in this cool city, and this city is sweet.
with
You
the
go-
capital city.
Yeah. You go to like this cool skyscraper that's half leaning down, and you're inside, and you have to fight these the zombie things. The zombie things are fucking creepy.
The clickers.
Yeah, so all of them. So the runners are ones that can see you still. Clickers are ones that have been zombies for so long that they've lost their ability to see because the fungal growth on their face. So they click using like a sonar thing, and that comes back, which makes no fucking sense. How the fuck did they get that ability?
it's just
Yeah.
adaptation.
It's just fucking the game being the game.
Well, and I almost think I don't even know if it's necessarily like it's an echolocation.
Yeah.
Because like if you're not moving, they won't come near you or
Yeah.
anything. I think it's maybe just them making noises to freak you out, to make you come out, possibly too.
Maybe.
Because it doesn't necessarily seem fully
predatory
like
thing.
echolocation, but that's what it almost sounds like. It sounds like a bat screeching
Yeah.
kind of.
And it did say, like, if you stand completely still, they might not see you, like
Yeah.
a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, the clickers are stupid too, because for some reason the runners will like just bash you and hit you, and you'll have time to like fight them and get away. But clickers, you just die instantly. They're
Unless
way
you have a shiv
stronger.
on you, you die instantly.
And it's only if you upgrade your shiv.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
like it's so weird. So and yeah, you meet these clickers and stuff. Some of the upgrades you can do. So a shiv is just like, imprison a shiv. It's just
shiv
a-
is the number one upgrade you should do in this
yeah,
game.
that's the first one I did. That and health.
Because shivs, you can, if you upgrade them, you can counter stab if like somebody gets on you like a clicker, which can save your life instantly.
Yeah,
and you can open up doors.
Yeah, so the big thing with shivs is they're a one-time use unless you upgrade them, which you find random upgrades throughout the game. I think I found 2 upgrades, so I had 3 uses of 1 shiv.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the shivs are just like a one-time use. You use them to kill the clickers, basically, and that's their best use of them. I used them to kill a bunch of military people, too, because it's quicker than choking people out.
Oh yeah.
But I only did that once I got the level 3 shiv, because the level 1 is completely fucking worthless.
Resources in this game are, depending on what level of gameplay you're playing, are insanely scarce.
Yeah.
So you have to be very smart about your resources. It's almost Resident Evil level of resource management.
Yeah. So you go through this building, you have to get her to the Capitol building, and you end up doing this. You go through a bunch of challenges. There's people you have to kill with the military and hide. You can stealth kill people, or you can just go in guns blazing. It doesn't matter. Either way, as long as you get to your goal, you get to your goal. You end up at the building, and the Fireflies are dead. They
Yep.
are gone, and it doesn't even explain how they're dead. Like there's no. It's like. It appears they've been shot by several guns. Like, no, it's just
Yeah.
like, they just dropped dead.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things like that where it doesn't seem like Joel or Tess investigate anything.
Yeah.
Like they just like, oh, there's dead bodies. We should probably move because there's probably something around.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, if it's clickers, shouldn't we like investigate to see if they have their necks bitten off? If it's runners, shouldn't we see if they've like got beat to death?
Well, I think it looked like Tess kind of possibly went over, and it didn't seem like there was zombies for
Yeah.
the cause of death.
So gunshots, but then where do those gunshot people go? Like,
Yeah.
there's no investigation on this. And then at that point, you realize Tess is bitten.
Yep. So Tess.
The second fatality of the game.
So yeah, what happens there is when you get to the capital city, see all the dead people and everything. Joel's like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, we're going home. And Tess is like, no, this shit's real, Joel. We need to save her. We need to save the world. We need to get her to the Fireflies. We need to go to find where the actual Fireflies
all
are.
up until this point, she was like, we're just doing this for the money.
Or just
I
for the
like
guns.
money. And now she's like, I like to save the world.
You realize in one of those she's finally admits, like, Joel's like realizing Tess is doing something and something's wrong with Tess. So he's like, what's going on? And she's like, I got bit, Joel. And he's like, let me see. And she pulls down her shirt right here, and she has this big bite mark here, and it already looks twice as bad as Ellie's mark.
Yeah, and
on
then
her
for
arm.
here, again, the audio people, it's on her neck.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't say
yeah.
for here in point. But yeah, so
She's
then
like, this is an hour old, and look how bad it is. Hers is a month.
yeah.
Yeah, and so that was her whole thing. And then that's the second part where bump, bump, bump. Well, what you got might be hard to handle, like a flame burns a candle.
You want to put happy music in all the sad moments, don't you?
Yeah, that's where you're making my dreams come true. Comes on for the second time, and you're like, wow, this is really not a good spot to put this. Okay, you developers, come on, guys. But they did a good job. They did good. I think that fit into that part of the game. Okay.
So yeah, so
She agrees to stay behind and hold off the military, which has been chasing you. Again, for some reason,
yeah.
they are chasing 3 people. 3.
I do not. There is that I'm like kind of like wondering like what the purpose of, like, it never fully says.
You're not important at all.
Yeah, it just seems like military's just driving around cities and just picking off anyone outside of the city city limits.
And it's like, and I get it, there's bandits and stuff, but they're just following you. They're like, find them. We gotta find these 3 and bring them back. But then they kill Tess.
I don't even think they're wanting to bring you back. I literally think they're trying to kill everyone that's outside of the city limits.
Yeah,
like
but why
if you're
would they
not
follow
in
you
their
so
confinement, they want to kill you.
They followed you for miles. Like
I
they have a
know.
Humvee that's following you or a tank.
Well, I think it's not just one. I think it's just military's just
Yeah.
out scattering cities, just killing anything that's
Well, this
walking.
one would be that one.
Yeah.
Because it's just Boston. You're in Boston in this part of the game, and it's just like the refugee zone or whatever is just this one military group, but they literally follow you for miles for no reason. Again, if you had like something on you that was important to them that you stole, but you don't. They don't even know about Ellie. They're just fucking like kill everyone and then follow the people
maybe they
we
do.
don't kill.
Maybe-
No, they never remember. They just try to kill everyone. They don't even try to capture
I
her.
know, but I don't think they wanted to capture her, even if they knew about her.
No, I just think they're just again. It's
Whatever.
just it's to push something that they should have just replaced them with bandits or something.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Like,
they
I don't
just
know.
wanted some kind of challenge in the game, and then they wrote this
I
part in that didn't make any sense.
Didn't pay attention to that really. I didn't really care why the military was there. I was
Yeah.
just killing them or going around them or doing
I was
whatever.
just killing them.
Pretty
Why
much.
not? So yeah, you kill. You're in this place. You leave. You have to get a truck, so you have to visit your friend. What is Billy? Yeah, he's fucking insane. He's like a man child.
Yeah, Bill is an interesting guy. He's another guy, kind of like Joel, who secluded himself. He's a trap maker.
Yeah,
so he
and a bomb maker.
Yeah, he builds a bunch of bombs and a bunch of traps all around the city, all around his properties.
City, we should be specific.
Yes.
Well, this is probably a suburb of Boston or something. But
It's
yeah.
around a school.
Yeah. No, a church.
Well, a church and a school.
Oh,
There's
I
the
didn't see
school.
the school.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
there's the
remember.
school.
Oh,
buses
that's
and stuff,
right.
Yeah.
You go there to get the Humvee.
Yeah, and that's where you
battery.
find the bloater for the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, then you go to Bill, and Bill owes you a favor, so you make
Never
him.
explains what it is or why. Bill, you owe me one. He's like, I owe you shit. All right, you're right.
And
I owe
then
you one.
Bill said that he did have a partner that he had around, and he's asking about Tess. And then you tell him Tess died, and he's like, my partner left too. I don't know where that scumbag went to.
Yeah.
But
No, he doesn't. I don't think he even mentions Tess died. I think he just says she left me. Or he doesn't even say anything. He just assumes she left him.
Yeah, but
yeah.
there was a little talk of where Tess was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're really bad at dealing with your feelings. Like, I can't talk about her. She's dead.
Yeah, Joel really struggles with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and he struggles being a nice person a lot.
Yes.
Yes, a lot. And during this whole time, Ellie is doing really cute things like telling bad jokes from a joke book.
Oh, God.
Which was hilarious, and then like doing cool
Shit
things.
talking Bill
Yeah.
so much.
And you're just like, Ellie, shut the fuck up before I fucking stick a knife up your ass.
Bill like even handcuffs her to one of the like radiator poles or something in his like lair, and just makes her sit there, and she's just like looking through magazines and like cussing him out, which I gotta say, so the main actress who plays Ellie is Ashley Johnson.
Yeah, she's from Critical Role. If none of you have watched that.
Yes, she is. I totally forgot about that.
She wasn't in it very long. She's actually a pretty famous actress, so she had.
Yeah, she
different
was
stuff
also
doing.
in Avengers, the very first Avengers. She
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
waitress that was in that one scene where the city was crumbling.
Yeah.
So that's where you guys possibly have seen her. But she actually, the director let the characters improv a lot of their own lines.
Yeah.
She was actually written really shy and timid originally, and she changed the character to be this 15-year-old
Brash.
that's like, fuck you, you fucking asshole. I
Yeah.
fucking hate you. I'll
Yeah.
fucking
She's definitely very emotional throughout the whole game.
She's awesome. She's my favorite character.
Yeah. So you help Bill in various ways. You meet a bloater for the first time. Bloaters are like juggernauts.
Yeah.
Or like what else? What other big zombies are there? There's always like an unbeatable zombie that's just way too strong or whatever.
Yeah, the fungus grows so much past the clicker form that it's actually like an armor around his entire body.
And he's super strong somehow.
And he can actually rip off chunks of his body and throw them at you, and those chunks have spores. So you can't breathe them in, and you can't get hit with them because it does a lot of damage. And you need armor-piercing rounds, or just a lot of ammo to take these things down, or fire.
You just burn it. Literally,
Fire's the best thing for bloaters.
Yeah, you just burn them. Their armor burns off, and you shoot them twice with a shotgun, and they're dead.
Yeah.
So that's all you got to do for bloaters. They're really easy to kill. After you do all this stuff, you find Bill's old partner dead. He got bit, hung himself.
Yep.
And then he left a note saying, like, "Fuck you, Bill." I was like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah,
you're an asshole.
he said, like, I got this stuff for you and this stuff for you, and
Yeah.
I was kind of getting tired of you and stuff like that.
Well, the big
and,
thing
like,
is
I'm
he wanted to
sorry.
leave and Bill wanted to stay.
Yeah.
So he souped up. So you go to the school to get the battery from this Humvee that crashed there, like a military one, and you realize the battery's gone, and he took it and he put it in his truck. So now because you went to Bill looking for a car.
Yeah.
Because you have to get to
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yeah,
so
'cause that's
why
where
you're
Tommy
going,
is.
Yes. So you're gonna travel across the country on a car with very little fuel. Again, it doesn't really explain a lot of how you did this stuff, but you did it.
It's probably just like that is in the Last of, or not the Last of Us, in The Walking Dead,
probably
or
like just
in
what it is in this
Zombieland,
game
just
that we're playing.
siphoning gas from random vehicles that
Yeah.
are parked on the road.
It's been 20 years. They wouldn't have any gas left. That shit evaporates. That's science, motherfucker.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, they found gas.
They found it was in the ground. They dug it up. So yeah, they make it through. This is a scary part too. This was the part that I was like, holy shit, did that just happen? And it's when they're in the car driving through Pittsburgh and they're having kind of a good time, it seems like. And then and then the guy is like walking towards them with a limp and the car's going kind of slow. And she's like, are we going to stop and help this guy? And he's like, no, we're not going to stop. She's like, why? He's like, he's faking it. And then you speed up the car, and then the guy pulls out a gun and starts shooting at you, and you're like, oh, fuck. And you run into there, and you have to fight these guys, these bandits. And Ellie's like, how did you know that? Because I've been on both sides of it before. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, really? You're an
ambush.
asshole is what you're saying.
Yeah, he definitely was part of the like looting and ambushing people and stuff. He did whatever he thought he had to survive. And
Yeah.
most of the things that he did in the past, they hinted at a lot of this past, like during that 20-year gap that we don't know about, but it was pretty much all bad shit.
Yeah, all of it. Everything
Yeah.
he did was awful. So
Yeah.
there you go. Asshole tip number 4.
There was one funny scene though in the truck before they got to the ambush. Ellie's in the back of the truck and she's going through a bunch of the magazines she stole from Bill, and she's like, "Oh look, these magazines have pictures of women, ooh!"
Yeah.
And she's like looking at porn magazines.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, these pictures are stuck together." And he's like, "Oh, Ellie, you probably shouldn't be." And she's like, "Oh, I'm just messing with you."
And she throws it out the window, and it's because Bill's gay, I think.
I think Bill is gay.
Yeah, I think they made that pretty clear in one of the notes you find. Yeah.
Ellie's gay too.
Yeah, that's learned later. So, well, that's not even learned in the first game.
It is actually
Not
in the
only
DLC.
in the DLC. Yeah, it's not learned during the main game.
No.
So you go and you do your shit. You get through the Pittsburgh, and these people are cannibals, and they're cutting people up and eating them. And
Oh, not the ambush group isn't.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they did do cannibalism too.
Yeah, they were because you go into
'Cause-
rooms that have like piles of clothes in them, and
Yeah.
you're like, Jesus.
And then
Christ,
there's the
they've
people
done
cut
this a
up and
lot.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So you meet a bunch of groups that are cannibals. So many groups. And then
I mean, it is
Yeah.
part of the nature of not having a lot of food. There's
True.
not a lot of animals and stuff
Yeah.
around either.
yeah, which is weird. You think they'd be thriving. So the people. You end up like hiding from them and killing a bunch of them, but then there's a point where there's 2 people running away from them, and they just go and they fucking kill them. And then they're like, that girl would have been a good for us to have, as entertainment. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
No.
Yeah, so then you make it out of Pittsburgh, you do your shit. You get some new weapons, you learn some new stuff. There's saves in these games, like safes that you have to open with codes that you find in one of the hotels in this level, and
Yeah.
you go through Pittsburgh and you get out. And this game is based, which I didn't know at first, because you spend a lot of time in fall or summer. I mean, this game is all based in seasons.
Yep. So it's 4 seasons. So
Yeah.
you play each seasons of a year. So summer,
And the
winter,
longest
spring,
by
fall.
far is summer.
Yeah.
Like I was like, Jesus, why was summer so long?
Winter's pretty long too. It
Well,
feels
no,
long.
It feels long, but like summer, you spend definitely
Yeah.
the most time
Yeah.
in. So summer, you get through summer. And I think fall is when you hit Wyoming.
Yes.
So the next part of the game after you make it through all this crazy stuff is Wyoming.
So that's when you're getting to Tommy's place, which Tommy, last Joel had heard.
Oh, sorry. Before we go into that, I forgot about these two characters.
Oh,
Yes.
Henry and Sam?
Henry and Sam.
Ooh, yeah, we can't forget them.
Yeah, so Henry and Sam, because I thought cause this is why summer felt so long, because you had so much shit happen. You go through Pittsburgh, you make it through all this stuff, and you meet two guys who are also getting chased by these ambushers, Henry and Sam.
Yep.
They're
And-
from the group of the two people you saw killed in the street earlier.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is weird because you don't mention that to them.
No.
Which is weird. You would be like, yeah, I saw two of your people dead. Again,
I-
Joel is just
Joel-
like really not good
Well,
with
and the
death.
other thing is too is I don't think Joel would want to say that because you don't know what that person's gonna think. Like, oh, you might have killed
Yeah,
them.
maybe. I just think he's not good with death. I think he's really bad.
He's really not good with death, so I
He's
will
like,
agree with that.
they don't die. They go to a farm. Dr. Fishy, no. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So you meet Sam and what, Henry?
Sam and Henry, yeah.
Sam and Henry is the kid.
No.
No, Sam is the kid.
Yeah, yes.
I don't remember.
Yes.
They're-
Henry's the adult, Sam is a kid.
Yeah, there's these two black guys and they're brothers and
And one's like probably like 20 and the other one's the same age as Ellie, like 14, 15.
no, I'd say he's over 20.
Yeah,
He was
he's,
like- he's
he's probably
24,
like 20.
25.
Yeah, he's mid 20s and then
Because he said, like, I remember when I was a kid before all this happened. And
Yeah.
it's been 20 years, so he had to be young.
yeah.
Which means his parents had another baby while this was going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
So you meet them. They're kind of okay characters. They try to kill you at first, but then they're like, all right, let's team up. And then this is the dumb part. Later on, they abandon you. They're like, sorry, guy, you're
Yep.
fucking dead. And then they come back like, you're lucky we rescued you out of the ocean because you fall off a bridge into the ocean.
And Ellie can't swim.
And Ellie can't swim, and neither can Sam.
Yeah.
So the big brother goes and rescues you. And then you're like, well, fuck you. You left me in the first place, you giant dickhole.
He did come back. Though.
Oh, he didn't come back. Fucking Sam made him come back.
I know. Sam really wanted to help Ellie and Joel.
Yeah, because
and
he's never
Henry
met
didn't.
someone his own age, I think.
Yeah.
So you end up in this cool part of the sewer, too, where you see a cool community.
Yep. There was
they
like
had
a school.
a water catcher. They had a bunch of shit in there. That was sweet. I was like, oh, it's too bad they all died.
They had the alarm system
Yeah.
for when things went in there. It was they had a really nice layout, and there's actually a hidden story in that sewer system if you find all the notes and stuff.
Yeah.
That talks about like a family in there, and it's actually a
You
really in
you
depth
go to
story.
a town actually later on that you find out that person came from because it was Nish.
Yep.
Um,
The Nish story.
Yeah, so that was pretty sweet going through that. So you end up through that, and eventually the whole point of this is now he's taking you to a communications tower,
Yep.
which I thought the
which
point
is where his group was originally going to.
And I thought the point in that was like maybe I can get an outside line or something, but that's not what they wanted to do.
They were just meeting their group there.
Yeah,
and
but it
they
was
were-
going west,
Yeah.
which I think is why they wanted to go anyway because it was on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's safety in numbers.
Yeah.
So-
And part way through the sewer level, you end up getting separated, and you're with Sam. Joel's with Sam,
Who's useless?
and then Henry's with Ellie.
Who is awesome.
Yeah.
So one will kill things for you, the other one will stand there and cry.
Oh, yeah.
So which one is better?
So then, you're going through all that and everything, and you make it through the sewer, and then you make it to that place that they wanted to go to, and you're eating food, and you're talking about the old days, and you're talking about riding motorcycles, and
And
Joel.
Sam is being a little bitch. He's just moody and fucking emotional because he's a bitch.
Yep.
He makes the worst mistake out of anyone in this game.
And then Ellie does something cool that Sam wanted this toy action figure that they found earlier, and Ellie stole it for him.
Yeah, and
because
the
his brother
brother-
didn't want him to have it.
And it was specifically because we only carry what we need.
Yeah.
We don't do luxury. So his brother didn't have any luxury, so I get that. So if he was a hypocrite, then I'd be like, well, fuck you, I'll carry this if I want to. But he was like, no, we only carry what we need.
I mean, a
It's
half-pound toy isn't gonna hurt you.
But it's just, so they have room for food and stuff.
I know.
You never want to leave behind things you need, so I totally get it. And then
Yeah.
Ellie fucked that all up by grabbing the toy.
Which didn't really matter anyway. So they're all talking reminiscing. They go to sleep. Ellie and Sam are sleeping in a different room.
Okay, but when Ellie gives him the toy, he throws it down on the floor all
Yep.
mad and moody because he's a little bitch.
Yes.
So
So then
I'm mad.
Ellie wakes up the next morning, and Sam's just sitting there hunched over, like,
Like a zombie.
like a zombie.
He got bit
and-
and he didn't say anything
Yep.
because he's an asshole.
Starts attacking Ellie. Ellie starts screaming.
This part I'm so confused about. So, like,
This part was crazy.
like they're both right there, Henry and Joel.
Yes.
Right? And Ellie's getting attacked, and Joel's like, let's get him all. Let's fucking kill this kid. He's a fucking zombie.
Yeah, he pushes him over and like steps on him, is about ready to shoot. And then Henry pulls out the gun
yeah.
and points it at Joel.
No, he doesn't even push him over. He goes to
yeah.
do it, and then Henry shoots at Joel, but doesn't
Yeah.
hit him. He's like, "What the fuck, Henry?" And he's like, "That's my brother." I'm like, "All right, he's super dead."
And then
all
he's
right?
like, I'll do it.
No. He just continues to point the gun at Joel, and then he's like, "We gotta save him." And then he shoots at Sam.
Yes.
He doesn't say anything. He just shoots him, and then he points the gun back at Joel.
Yep.
And you're like, "Okay, dude, come on."
And Joel's like, no, hey, we can talk about this. I know that was crazy or whatever.
This is
We can
your
talk about
fault
this.
because you didn't tell your brother to fuck off enough, okay? Because he's fucking too fucking privileged.
And it looks like he's gonna shoot Joel, and Ellie and him are both trying to convince him not to. And then all of a sudden, he just turns the gun towards his own head and shoots himself in the face.
right in the fucking head.
And you're just like, whoa.
And I was like, okay, that's a major character development because before that he was the most happy-go-lucky guy. And suddenly he's like, I can't live without my brother.
Yeah, he just didn't want to live without his brother.
I guess. It's just the weirdest moment. Why was he pointing the gun at Joel? I just didn't understand.
Because he didn't want Joel to kill his brother.
After the brother's dead.
I don't know. Maybe he blamed them for it somehow.
no,
like
he's
he
just
was dealing with it in his head, dude.
I don't know. It was a weird character flaw that didn't make any sense for the character up to that point because they painted the character as a certain way.
I don't necessarily think these are all character flaws. I just don't think they're things that you would do.
I don't think they're things that normal people would do in a.
You don't know that in a
grotesque
zombie situation where their brother gets attacked and all their family's
sure.
dead. You've never experienced that.
Sure. But why did he point the gun at Joel again? That was my only. I'm like, why is he still pointing the gun at me? What did
Like I said, I think
you killed your brother, you dick. Point it
I
at
think
yourself. and then he
somehow
did.
he's blaming them because they went to go save them, and Sam made them save them, and that's why they were on the path
I think they were
together.
gonna get bit
And
anyway.
that's when they got
They
bit.
had to go through that path anyway.
Well, I'm guessing he also maybe thought because they were separated and Joel was alone with him that he probably got bit while he was alone with Joel, and Joel didn't say anything.
No.
to him.
Remember, he knows when he got bit. It's when he got when they were in the town and he was sniping and helping them get out.
Oh, yeah.
That's when the two jumped on.
That
one
is
on
my
Henry,
favorite.
One on Sam.
One of my favorite parts of the game is when
Yeah.
you're up in the house sniping.
Sniping. Yeah, there's a sniper
Oh.
you use and you have to protect them as they're running up. But
Getting to that house is a
Yeah,
bitch.
two runners jump on top of Henry and Sam, and you have to kill them both. And that's
right.
when he gets bit, I think. But he gets bit in the leg, and that thing definitely jumped on top of his torso part.
Again, we don't know if that's when he got bit.
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't say that.
it's probably
necessarily.
when he
But
got
I'm just
bit.
saying, that could be what was in Henry's brain. Of he probably got bit when he was
Yeah,
with you.
well, maybe, but we know that that's
Or because
1 to,
of you.
1 to 4 hours, and that was the closest time to him getting.
I know, but
Yeah.
he.
That
I
had to
don't
be the
know.
time, just based on the time constraints of.
It's
the
also
virus.
that they've been around people who've gotten
Yeah.
bit and know the time frames themselves too.
Yeah, I guess it's technically not a virus; it's a fungal spore. So,
Yeah.
which are not viruses. So then you end up in Wyoming finally. So you walk there, by the way. It doesn't ever explain if you have a car or not, but you're definitely walking when you get there.
Yes. So yes, then you walk up to this water treatment facility, and it's gated. And you start walking up to it, and people point guns at you, and you just say, hey, I'm just looking for Tommy or whatever. And then Tommy comes out, and he's actually running the city with his wife, his new wife.
What's her name? Vanessa? Not Vanessa.
I can't
Maria.
remember. Maria, yeah.
Maria. I was like, it's she's very white, but she doesn't have a very white name.
Yes.
So Maria.
Yes. So yeah, you go there, and Tommy's thrilled to see you. You talk to him about Ellie being infected. You tell him that you need resources, and you want Tommy to take over from this point on.
This is again where it's just so confusing. His fucking weird ass development, and of course, mixed in here is a bunch of bandit bullshit. And you have to kill people and stuff.
Well, and there's a bunch of bullshit too, because Ellie's trying to figure out more and more. And actually, Maria gives Ellie a picture of Sarah and talks to Ellie about Sarah. And so
Yeah.
she starts asking questions about Sarah to Joel, and Joel's not wanting anything to do with it. And he can't talk about his daughter, and he keeps seeing.
been 20 years and he's still a little bitch.
He keeps seeing his daughter in Ellie, and she's around that same age when she died, and so he's just not dealing with it.
And he
well.
keeps saying, like, you two would have gotten along. I'm like, if she was alive, she'd be in her 30s, Joel. What the fuck are you talking about?
They would have gotten along though.
I guess. It's just weird. You two would have gotten along. Okay, she's 32. She wouldn't have cared about this little girl. Just so weird. But yeah, this is, again, weird part. You go through all this bandit bullshit. Ellie runs away on a horse. You have to go after her on a horse. I think it's just the point in that was the ride horses in the game. Really, that seemed like the whole point of that chase. Like, hey, let's get on horses, boys. And so you find her in this sweet fucking house.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet house. It's like a farmhouse, like a country home, but it's fucking huge. I was like, the downstairs looked amazing. I'm like, I would have a living room like this. This is fucking sweet. And then the bandit stuff again, and you take her back, and you talk to your brother up to this point about him taking her, and then he agreed. The wife's mad at him for it, and then he's like, and when you finally get back, he's all gung-ho about getting rid of Ellie finally. And then he's like, listen, you give Tom back his horse, you get on my horse, I'm taking you to Colorado.
Yeah.
You're just like, what? What happened? And literally nothing happened between...
Well, there was that other bandit attack at the facility right when they got the power back on.
Well, stuff like that. But, like, literally nothing happened in his, like, state of mind. Like, he talked to Ellie a little bit, but he was mad at her when he talked to her. It's not like he was like, listen, kid, I'm here to help you.
Well, she did have that fight with him where she's like, I don't want to go with him. I want to go with you.
Yeah.
I don't feel safe with anywhere. I only feel safe with you.
But reaction to that was, listen, I don't give a fuck. That was the reaction.
Yes, he's a person who takes time to deal with the things.
But after that, nothing happened. So it was
he just
weird.
reflected on that conversation.
It just took a long time. It
Yes.
took him reflecting, and then suddenly, and he's so creepy when he does it. You get on up here, little girl. You're coming with me. And I was just like, why are you saying this?
Because
He is so
he
creepy.
loves her.
He's so creepy when he starts getting sympathetic, and I'm like, stop.
I don't see him as creepy at all.
He's very creepy.
You're the only person I've ever heard talk badly about Joel.
I
Like
just do
everyone
not like
loves
him.
Joel so much.
Because
He's
Ellie was
the
so
most
much of a
loved character.
Ellie was so much of a better character.
She is a better character.
So then you bring her to Colorado because that's where the Firefly medical facility. Somehow everybody, like, he knows exactly where it is, even though it's been years since he's been in the Firefly. It's so weird.
Well, they have radio contact. They have people going out and scouting and
Yeah.
stuff. They like there is reasons
All the
that
way
they
in
do.
Colorado.
Yes. It's not Wyoming is not far away from Colorado.
Okay, but
it's an hour away.
Well, driving, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
They don't have to. No
So
cars.
4 hours. They were
On a
doing
horse.
8-hour
No.
trips walking.
Where they
before.
went was southern Colorado. It was not northern Colorado.
Yes, it was. It was CSU.
No, it wasn't CSU.
It was based off of CSU.
It's the
because it was the Rams.
Oh, I thought it was more close to Denver.
No,
but
it's
then
based off
again,
of
we don't know
CSU.
where they were in Wyoming because Laramie is an hour from Fort Collins, which is on the border of Colorado. and
I know.
Wyoming.
I'm just saying, like,
So-
even if it was a 2-hour drive away or something
I
like
think
that,
it would have been a
that's-
couple days at least.
Even then,
horseback.
it's not that much, especially in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like, it's needed to do those kinds of trips.
Yeah, they make it to this dumb university, and the Fireflies are gone.
Yeah, so it's based off of Colorado State University, but the looks aren't the same at all. But it
No.
has the same mascot and same colors and stuff like that. But it is heavily based off of that.
All right, but yeah, they go there, and it's the weirdest fucking thing. I kept seeing this throughout the game. I don't know. Again, is this poor writing, or did they just not understand what they were doing? So in the game, there's a fence you have to get through, right? And you try to push it, and there's obviously a chain on it. Like, that's the reason you can't push it open.
Okay.
Because there's a chain wrapped around it.
Okay.
Okay, there's a chain right in front of your face. And he goes, must be rusted shut. And I'm like, what?
I guess I don't remember that.
He does that
point.
so many times. He's like, rusted shut. I'm like, there's a lock on the other side that we can see blocking the door. What the fuck are you talking about? Must be rusted shut.
I don't know.
Every time I was like, why did they choose to do this? And then you have to get this trash can to, like, open the gate, to jump
Yeah.
over the gate or something. And you just push it down and the gate flies open. I'm like, how did that break the chain? Must have been rusted shut.
The force.
And the chain was locked around, like breaking a metal chain, and it was pretty thick. By the
Probably
looks
broke
of
the
it.
handles if it was rusted.
Well, yeah, if it was rusted, but it wasn't. It was just weird that he said it like that after he tried to push it too. It wasn't like he touched the chain like trying to get it off. He just tried to push the gate open. The poor
You are nitpicking so hard on this
because
game.
Some of the small stuff like that, I'm like, all right, why didn't they realize they did that and just rewrite it and say, okay, the chain's blocking me, I better find a way to break it.
Because I don't think any of them had ever thought that anyone would nitpick on it.
Yeah, because they're stupid. No, a bunch of people
they're
probably.
not stupid.
No.
This game has got more awards than any game we've ever played before.
All right, great, but it still has a lot
Same
of
with the
problems.
second one.
So it still has a lot of problems. And that was one of the parts where I'm like, God damn, why the fuck did they do this in this game? Why can't they just and that's such a little thing to fix. It's so easy. You just change the dialogue and you say, there's a chain wrapped around it. Better find some way to
10 years
break
in the
it.
making. You're gonna miss some things in 10 years.
But they did that a lot. Like a lot of the doors they did that must be rusted shut. There was one that had the chain link doors that had
We're
the bar.
spending way too much time on the doors.
I know, but the chain link doors that have the bars?
Sure.
That on one side you throw the bar down and you can't push it open, right?
I think so.
Okay, so there was a bar. You could see it through the chain link. Must be rusted shut. I was like,
Okay.
stop saying that. It's a bar.
Then don't touch the doors if you can't open them.
Well, and then Ellie has to go over and lift the bar, and she's
Yeah.
like, I got it open. I was like, must have been rusted shut still.
Okay.
But yeah, so you're in Colorado and you go in the facility. I don't know why they went in. And this was confusing to me too. It's like so you find like a little map before this that shows like recon spots, sentry spots, and then you find like a nest of the clickers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And like another one of those juggernaut things.
Yeah.
And the bloater.
Bloater.
And you're like, well, they're probably just hiding inside. And I'm like, what? There's nobody around.
They were just trying to have as much hope as they could.
And I get like if they said beforehand like okay, it doesn't appear like anyone's here, but maybe we can find some clues to where they went. And they say
what
that
he says, yeah.
later when they're inside, and I'm like,
well, they don't need to say it right outside.
I know
It doesn't
but
matter.
They even
when
have
they
sentry
say it.
towers that are empty, and I'm like, okay, come on, guys, you know it's empty here.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like they still like everyone had audio logs
Yeah.
and stuff that you could find and stuff, and you listen to a lot of those, and it's kind of funny when you're going through the school because you find these audio logs talking about monkey experimentation.
Oh yeah, and the guy is like, it bit me. I'm like, well, yeah, it fucking bit you. What are you talking about? It
The
bit
guy was
you.
trying to find a cure and using monkeys to experiment with the cure, but ended up infecting monkeys. And those are the only things in the game that are animals that are infected. But originally they had actually planned to have infected lions, infected gorillas. They intended to have a giant scene where an infected elephant was chasing Joel.
Weird. That's too weird. I think they made a good choice.
I think they did make a good choice, but there's actually concept art for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
infected, which the infected lion looks fucking sick. Like I'll have to show
All the
that.
monkeys were infected too, because the ones you see outside have red eyes, and I'm just like, why the hell do they have red eyes?
Because the monkeys infected each other.
So you end up inside. There's some monkeys inside hanging out. No firefly people.
Yep,
You have
but-
to kill some like random clickers and stuff that are just hanging around. The inside looks sweet though. They have it set up like all biohazardy, and
Yep.
it looks sweet. And then you end up in the lab that had the monkey cages, and then you find the recording that it bit me, and you're like, well,
Yeah, and
it's
you open the
fucking good.
door and the monkeys rush out of
Yeah.
there and stuff, and none of them attack you or anything. You don't have to fight the monkeys,
Yeah,
but
I think that PETA would have been on their ass if he had to fight the monkeys. So then you get the recordings, and this is another weird part that later on, because they explain like these guys were scavengers or something, like. You're talking and you find this recording, or you find the dude who got bit. He blew his head off because there was a hole in his head, so I assume he
Yeah.
shot himself, which was a big caliber, dude. The hole was huge.
probably either shotgun or.
No, like that's like a 44 or something. I was like, Jesus,
I mean, yeah,
what the
it could be a 50
fuck?
caliber like Desert Eagle or something.
Yeah,
too.
I was just like, Jesus.
because that will blow a hole.
This guy was
huge.
like way into getting this over with. But then you're staring at the body and you find something that says, seems like they went to Utah and to Salt Lake City to be with the Mormons. And
that wasn't the reason.
the only place that's safe with the Mormons. And then you see like a light shining down below, and then a shot just comes right at you. I'm like, what? Why?
It's something that they do in every sniper movie that's ever existed. It's the light fragmenting off the lens of the sniper rifle that aims directly
no, they had a
outwards.
flashlight too.
Oh,
They
yeah.
saw the flashlight, and then the shot came out. I'm like, I didn't do anything. Why are you shooting at me?
They just like a lot of these people. I mean, it's even in,
Yeah, they're
in The
scavenging.
Walking Dead. They
Yeah.
just kill on site.
Yeah, they're
a
just
lot
like,
of times.
just kill now.
Just they don't take chances. Like,
Yeah.
and especially if they knew about Joel, like they know
Well,
how.
It seems out of character for what happens later. This is the only
Yeah.
reason I'm saying it. But yeah, you go through there, you kill all these guys. There's a bunch of them. This is the part, again, so during this whole thing, you have been dropped from a roof. You've been nearly drowned. You've been shot a bunch of times.
Oh yeah,
You-
this is where he falls on the rebar.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Fall in a
So
rebar.
yeah, he falls like 2.5 stories down. He gets knocked down by this guy, and
No,
he
it's not 2.5 stories. It's
it's
like,
like 2 stories.
I would say like what, 12, 15 feet?
which is 2 stories.
Is that 2 stories?
8 feet to 10 feet is a story. So
Okay, yeah.
it would be 2
yeah,
stories.
so like 12 to 15 feet, and he landed right
he
on
he
a
lands
rebar.
on his side through some rebar that goes probably through like almost like kidney area.
Kidney, liver, heart, everything pretty much.
Not heart, it was
no,
lower than
everything is
heart.
down right here.
Hearts up.
No, about right there, I think. All your organs are centered on that side of your body, right there.
No.
And he's on a rebar, and Ellie's like, "Oh shit! What has happened?"
So yeah, you're like really like falling down. You can't
Yeah.
stand up. You can barely shoot. Ellie's trying to pick you up while you're trying to kill people.
And she's like, "What can I do, Joel?" And move. What? Move! And she pushes pushes her out of the way to shoot 2 people that come in the room. And I'm like, that was fucking badass.
Yeah, there's a lot of badass
Yeah.
scenes, honestly, when Joel's like in trouble. Like earlier, when we didn't talk about this, when he goes into Bill's place and he gets his foot caught in the trap and he's dangling upside
yeah.
down. Him having to fight off zombies while she's trying
Oh
to get
yeah,
him
and it's
down.
really stupid. And she's like throwing him ammo. I'm like, where? You have all of this ammo? Give it to me.
I liked that. Like, it didn't make as much
Yeah, yeah.
sense at that part, but I liked that because you were running out.
Yeah,
you
there's
would
no,
run
no
out.
way
There's
you
no
can
way.
pick up any. Like,
Yeah.
And you only pick up ammo from bodies and random loot drops that
Yep.
are just around. But yeah, you're stabbed, you get through that, you leave, and then Ellie has to kind of like... This is where you take over as Ellie, which was sweet. I really
Yes.
like this part. This part
The
was
whole
actually cool.
segment with Ellie
Yeah,
is
it was
actually
really good. This is what they should have done the whole game. It was so good. So you go through and you hunt a deer, which I thought was really fucking sweet.
Yes. So yeah, that was a really awesome part. And there's the part in this, I don't remember exactly when the rabbit getting murdered.
Oh,
scene
right at
was.
the beginning.
Right at the beginning.
Right
of
at
that,
the
yeah.
beginning. It was
So
right when you take control of
there's
Ellie.
a funny streamer playing this girl streamer that played this game. I can't remember her name. I'll have to try to find it. But there's a video of you see the baby rabbit and it's like just all
no,
cute.
I think it's just a normal.
Whatever. You see the rabbit and it's
see
all
it.
cute and it's jumping around
And it's like, I
it's
love
really
being a
cinematic scene,
rabbit.
and then all of a sudden an arrow just comes and shoots it like right behind the
Girl,
head.
You bitch,
And
you
this-
shot me.
This girl just bawls. She's like, and it's like it was a viral video for the longest time because that reaction was just so
that
funny.
Poor buddy. you kill the rabbit, and she's like, "This isn't gonna last very long." And
Yep.
then you see a deer just standing there, and you're like, "How did I miss that? I was
Yep.
too focused on the bunny."
So yeah, you chase after the deer, and the tracking of the deer is actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because there's
You track-
blood spots and stuff.
Well, if you
and-
hit it,
yeah.
I just follow the hoops for a long time,
Yeah.
and then I got it, hit it once, and then you hit it another time, then you follow it while it dies.
Yes.
And then these 2 randos come up to you.
David.
Yeah.
Fuck David.
Yeah, fuck David,
Fuck
that pedophile
Fucking
creep.
fuck David.
And they're like, we'll trade you for the deer you just shot
Yeah,
there. We
it's
got a
like-
lot of hungry people. I'm like, this is not going to feed all your people.
And she needs medicine, so she's like, if you have penicillin, he's like, we have penicillin. She's like, go send your guy to town, get penicillin, bring it back, I'll give you the deer.
See, this is that weird part. They didn't shoot on sight.
Yeah.
Whereas before, people
It's
did.
because it's that she was a girl.
Maybe.
It is
No,
100%.
But they knew, remember?
They knew about
They-
Joel too, yeah.
Yeah, they knew
But-
that she was the one who killed a bunch of their people.
Yes.
So again, weird.
He wanted to capture her.
He was
David
like,
is a sick fucking
"Listen,
twisted fuck.
I just want the girl. That's it. I just want her.
He's such a
Yeah.
sick
Well, and
fuck.
at first he seems like such a nice guy.
He does. He seems like the most genuine guy ever. And
You
he's
have to,
actually,
like-
you're actually like, oh my god, can I actually trust another
Yeah.
person? Like, holy shit, am I
You're-
gonna get another companion?
You're like hanging out with him while you're waiting for his like friend to come back with the medicine from their town that they're clearly close by because it can't be that
Yeah.
long. And a bunch of clickers and stuff attack you.
Which that was
It's
a
weird
hard
mob.
fight. Yeah.
It was just weird. I was like, so do they? Because they never really explained this in the game. If they like mob together and like travel like in The Walking Dead, they have these giant like
Hordes.
roaming hordes so I thought maybe they just mobbed together. Because where the fuck did they all come from?
They
Where
were
the-
just scattered around and
Yeah,
like, hearing noises of stuff.
Yeah, but you didn't really make any noise. That's the weird part,
Didn't
too.
David shoot his gun at one point?
No. She just shot the arrows. No guns were shot.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't
Yeah.
remember
It was
exactly
weird.
what it was.
It was just
but-
a little weird. I figured they travel in hordes at some point, and they didn't explain that in the game.
Yeah.
Probably something they took out. But yeah, a horde comes at you. You fight him off with David, and you think he's a cool guy, and then he's like, "See, I believe in karma. See, my man told me that a little girl with a grown man killed a bunch of my men."
Wasn't that later? Because he gives her the medicine.
No.
and
It was
she goes
before,
back and gives it to
before
Joel.
the medicine. They're sitting
Okay.
after they kill all the guys, and she immediately aims his rifle that she took from him up at him, and she's like, "Listen, I don't want any trouble. I just want the medicine." And then his friend comes back and he's aiming the gun at her, and he's like, "Put the gun down.
Oh, yeah,
we're
that's
not
right.
gonna shoot her."
Yeah. And so they give her the medicine. She takes it to Joel.
She takes the rifle with her, just steals
Yeah.
his rifle, and takes her horse. She has a horse.
Yep.
She has the horse that they got from Tommy.
Tommy
still, and she goes back to Joel, and then she finds out that those people followed her,
Yes.
and they are out for blood.
Yes. So they actually capture Ellie.
By the way, Ellie kills
A lot.
Okay, so you kill a bunch of people in the building. So these are the people from the building, from the Colorado building. You're like in some random snow town in the forest. You're between like two towns because they're in a town and you're in a town.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like a suburb of another town or something. But you're in these towns and you kill a shit ton in the building. You kill maybe like 20 dudes, right? 20's got to be the number.
Yeah,
And then
at
you
least.
kill 20 to 30 more. So that's like 50 people almost. And then there's still more. I'm like, Jesus, this is a huge community. This community is giant for these small towns. Where did they come
Well,
from?
and a lot of the communities in the game were though.
Yeah.
There was a lot of communities that were
yeah, like
at
the
least
one in
around
Pittsburgh
like 100
was huge
people.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if there were 100 people, you killed half of them. I'm like, I get why they're pissed.
Well, yeah.
I get it.
No, there's a lot of things in this game where there's a lot of moral gray areas.
Yeah.
Of this person's doing the right thing, but this person's also doing the right thing. This
Yeah.
who's right, who's wrong.
David
there's a lot
is
of
definitely
David's
wrong.
definitely wrong.
Wrong, super wrong.
Yes.
He's a creep. So they capture you after you kill a bunch of their guys, and you're a fucking badass. You do so
Yeah.
much cool shit, and you are so cool. And the rifle you got, this is your first experience at a fully upgraded weapon. Mm-hmm. If you've been upgrading your weapons sparingly, I did it like every other weapon. I was like, I want to upgrade this one now,
Which you have to get scraps and then you have to get pliers
Yeah.
to upgrade it, but you need enough scrap pieces.
That's why I would recommend going for all the secret locations. 'Cause
Always.
you get a lot of good shit from those.
And if you ever see a safe, look around
Yeah,
that
find that
building
code.
for a note. There's
Yeah.
a note somewhere in that building that has the code on it.
Yeah.
Or if you really can't find it, look it up on Google. Someone's
Yeah.
posted all the combination codes of each building.
Well, no, you have to find the note. So you don't just put in the.
You can put in you can put in the code without finding the
Oh, you
combination.
can?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
There was
I should've
there
tried
was
that
one
more.
or two that I couldn't find my first playthrough. And I looked it up and they worked.
Gotcha.
So you don't need to find the note.
Yeah, because you
can
can just
look
find
it
the
up.
note and then not have to put it in. He'll auto put it in for you.
Yeah.
So you get captured and then you're in a jail cell. You wake up and they're right there, and he's like, "My pretty," and that's not what he does, but it's totally what he's
no,
coming off. His voice changes. The inflection in his
Yeah.
voice completely changes. He sounds like a fucking creep now.
Yeah, he's talking about how she's going to be used.
Oh wait, before that, she wakes up and sees him chopping up a fucking human body.
Yep.
Cannibals.
Yep. So you find out they're cannibals, and then she's like, "I'm not gonna let you cut me up," and blah blah blah. And he's like, "Oh, that's not what we're gonna use you for."
That's just so creepy.
It's so creepy.
Yeah, so
he
she-
basically
She is a badass
insinuates-
though, so he wants her for that reason. But
He
also
insinuates that he wants her to
sex slave.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what he wants.
help repopulate their population because she killed a lot of their population.
She's 14. She's perfect age for 100 babies.
She's old enough to bleed. She's old enough to breed.
Yep, that's what it is.
That's the David way.
So David's creepy, and then he puts his hand in to touch her face, right? That was the whole thing, and then she breaks his finger.
Breaks his finger. Oh, it's so
And
great.
she refuses to tell him his name, and then he's like, "Fine, bitch, how'd you put it? Chop you into little pieces." And she's like, "Ellie," and he's like, "What? My name is Ellie. Tell everyone that Ellie was the one who broke your fucking finger." And I was like, "Yeah, bitch."
Ellie is so great.
Yeah,
in this
she tries to
game.
grab his keys when she broke his finger and wasn't able to.
So then, she starts running away, and then it cuts back to Joel.
Yeah, and then you're Joel. You go through the city again, and fucking fuck someone up. You capture 2 people
Oh.
and you start torturing them. And the first guy you torture, you stab him in the knee, like, where is the girl?
You get a map out, and you're like, I'm gonna show the map to each one of you separately. If you point to a different spot, I kill you both. You point to the same spot, I know you're being correct.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and then he gets the first spot from the guy. He puts a bloody knife in his mouth, and he's like, mark the spot, bitch. And he does, and he's like, she's right there. She's right there. Everyone else is right there, too. And then he chokes him out and breaks his neck and goes over to the other guy, and he's like, I ain't telling you shit. He's like, you don't need to. I believe your buddy. And then he just shoots him in the face, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Joel, when he's pissed, there's nothing stopping
Yeah,
him. He's fucking
he's
John
ready
Wick.
to go for
like,
it.
he is insane.
Yeah, he's got a limp, too, at this point, because he was
Oh,
still
man.
stabbed with a fucking rebar.
So yeah, this is, by the way, I don't know if we said this. This is during the winter time,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the snow is falling
So
everywhere.
yeah, Colorado. Once you get to Colorado State, this is why I think, or no, is that no? Winter happened right after.
Winter
so,
happened
yeah,
right after
So fall
Colorado.
was like Wyoming to Colorado. Now winter is still Colorado, and it basically goes through the whole rest of the Colorado sequence
Yes.
of winter. And then you switch back to Ellie again, and you escape your jail cell.
Yep.
And then you kill a bunch more of his people, and
And then you go back to Joel a little bit, and then you go back to Ellie.
no.
Yeah,
You're
say
Ellie
it's
until
Ellie.
you're in the restaurant.
Yes.
So basically, you end up in this restaurant, and David finds you. And David is.
This is probably the hardest
I
fight
have
in the
no
game.
idea how he's so immune.
I don't.
Like not to damage. Like I'm pretty sure. Didn't you shoot him in the shoulder or something?
I think you
Before this, I think you shot
him in the shoulder, which I mean anyone can
or
survive. that.
stabbed him in the.
You
so
stabbed
that's
him in
one,
the shoulder,
That's just one
yeah.
thing, okay? That's just one.
Yeah.
So then your whole point of this interaction is to sneak around tables and to stab him in the back. So you stab him once, and he's like, "Listen, Ellie, that didn't even hurt." And then he's still up, and you're like, "Oh, well, okay, I guess he's still alive." And then you go up to him again, you stab him again. I think this time's in the stomach.
I think every time was in the back.
No. One
Or
was
maybe.
one was in like the chest area, which
Oh, yeah, she
again,
did
that's
stick
a
around.
pretty deep fucking wound, and he's still up. Then the next time's in the stomach, and then the final time you get him in the face.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah. So, but it's I'm like, damn, this guy's fucking invincible. He's still running around and shit.
I mean, his adrenaline's pumping. Blah.
I know that's a
blah.
lot of blood loss though. I was just like,
It's a clean
man.
cut with a clean knife. It
Sure, I
wasn't.
guess.
It didn't have any.
But again, you're getting stabbed in the stomach. That's the worst part. That's the most
I
extreme
know,
pain.
but you can survive that. You can survive with half the amount of blood
Yeah.
for over an hour.
Yeah, but
So-
that's you laying down dying. That's not you running around a restaurant looking for a little girl to fuck.
I mean, it takes the place in all of a matter of 5 minutes.
Yeah, seriously.
So
like this was fucked. Like yours just, and then you finally get him in the last time, and he throws you down, and he tries to. I don't think he tries to rape you, but
It's really insinuates
yeah,
that.
it looks
It's
like he's trying. No, it looks like.
he's forcing you down onto the
But
ground.
it looks like he's trying to torture and kill you. I think that was his whole. Because I don't think he had the energy.
it's
to
kind of
rape.
up in the air.
Yeah.
It really puts it up in the air, but you really feel like she's about to get raped.
Yeah,
Like,
and she feels that way.
the entire feeling of it is this is going to happen. This
Yeah.
is the worst thing that could happen to Ellie is going to happen right now.
But then she gets the machete and she just fucks
Man,
him
she
up.
finally is able to reach it and she hits him with it. Then she gets on top and she's just slicing his face,
Yeah.
just cutting him.
Oh, sorry.
open.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. This is so the third stab. Her and something falls on top of him and her, so she goes down, and then you switch back to Joel.
Yes.
And then you make it to the restaurant after killing a few
Yeah.
people. Then you switch back to Ellie and you have to crawl for the machete because he's
Yeah.
still fucking alive after the third stab.
Yeah.
And that's when you get the machete and you fucking kill him after he tries to do whatever he does with you.
Yes.
And then Joel comes in and pulls you off him because you're still just beating the fuck out of his face. And he's like, Ellie, stop it, Ellie.
and
it's
she's
me.
crying,
It's
and
Joel."
he's almost crying,
And then
she
she's
has-
like, she's gonna do things to me. And yeah, she's like way upset. And it just makes you sad. And then you leave and you just decimated a whole town, just the two of you, and you feel like badasses. And you're like, cool guys don't walk away from explosions.
"You guys don't look at explosions."
Whatever. And then you walk away and you're like, man, we just lit up an entire town. Way to go, Ellie. I'm proud of you. I was almost raped. Way to go, Ellie. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, no, it's very, very dark. This
Yeah,
game gets
it's
dark.
really
I
dark.
mean dark. This game
Well, the
is
whole
not
game
for the
is the
faint of
beginning.
heart. Yeah,
The
the
beginning is
entire game is dark. Like,
Yeah.
this is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, we probably should have said that at the beginning.
Probably.
Not now that we're all. And then she was almost raped, and then she stabbed a dude. And like we probably should have prefaced with, "Hey, it's a little
game's
dark."
10 years old.
Yeah. So you make it out of this town, and now it's spring,
Yes.
and you're in Utah.
Yes.
Salt Lake City.
Yes.
The Mormons have congregated. This is actually one of my favorite parts because this was like one of the prettiest parts of the game.
It is kind of pretty.
You see a whole herd of giraffe.
oh, I love that
I think it was
scene.
from like a zoo or something.
Yeah,
right?
it was a zoo that opened up.
So there was a zoo and a couple animals obviously escaped, and the giraffes, the whole herd. And it's sweet because you don't see them at first, and Ellie's just like, Joel, you're not gonna believe it. Come look. And you have to follow her around, and you're like, what? What is it? What is it? And then finally you get to a point on the roof where you can see all these giraffes just running around. It's sweet. It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then after that, you end up in like a subway tunnel. And well, not like a subway tunnel, like a car tunnel. It's underneath
yeah.
the ground, but it's like a car tunnel.
Yeah.
And it's filled with water.
Yeah.
And a lake or a river, I think, because there's like rapids coming through. So
Yeah,
it's, just like-
it's definitely like a force of water
I'm
coming
thinking
through.
because I think the Colorado River runs through there somewhere. I'm sure that just leaked into that
and
somehow.
Ellie has to stay above the water, and you have to do a bunch of stuff under the water.
Because Ellie
and
can't swim because
crumbing
she's
through
fucking
paths.
worthless when it comes
But
to
she
water
always
stuff.
finds a way to you.
Yeah. And then you have to fight all of these things, man. This was a hard part. There's
Yeah.
two, on my difficulty, there were two of the bloaters. There were a shit ton of clickers.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of
Which
runners.
difficulty did you play it on, by the way?
I think normal.
Okay.
So yeah, so I killed the bloaters were actually easy because I had a flamethrower now, and I was like, "This is fucking sweet."
Yeah.
Take a flamethrower, hit them both. They just scream in pain. Shotgun them both.
Yep.
So easy.
I loved the Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
I used those a lot. So I would use a brick.
I only use those on people.
I would use a brick, and I would make all the zombies and bloaters and stuff go to one location, and then I would Molotov cocktail and ignite them all.
See, that was a good idea. I liked using the bricks to throw at people because you hit them with a brick or a bottle, and they like, "Oh
Disorient
god,
them.
that hurt!" And then you shoot them in the head, and you're like, "Wow, that was easy."
Yeah, either that or run up to them and just boom.
Yeah. So yeah, you're in this tunnel. You get through. You go to the rapids area, and then your bus that you're standing on just fucking gives
Crumbles,
away.
yeah.
And you're stuck inside, and Ellie's on top, and she's drowning, and like all this stuff happens, and you're able to finally get to the end of this like river into more of a ravine area where it's more still water, and you get out and you grab Ellie and she's like drowning and you're doing CPR, and this is the part I don't understand. You're
Yeah.
doing CPR and some random army dude comes up and he's like, "Put your hands up," like,
And this is a Firefly member.
yeah, and you're just like, "What?"
He's like, I'm trying to save this girl.
I'm doing CPR.
Put your hands up.
Okay, but I'm doing CPR. Put your fucking hands up.
And they come up and hit you in the head with a
It's just-
gun. They
it's
hit
like,
you with the
why-
butt of the rifle.
Why did they do that?
I honestly...
He's got a gun. I'm doing CPR.
I don't know if it's just because that's where like the rest of the Fireflies were, and all the other Fireflies were
Maybe.
attacked, so they just weren't taking chances. But they didn't kill on sight. They actually captured them.
Yeah, they just knock him out while he's
Yeah.
trying to save a life. My favorite part is it made me feel like Harold and Kumar, where the black guy's in the prison or in the jail cell, and he's holding a book, and the cops are like, "He's got a gun!" He's like, "It's a book!" And they go in there and start beating the shit out of him. And I'm like, that's exactly what this was.
So yeah, then you wake up in the hospital, or in a hospital.
Yeah, your goal in Salt Lake City was to get to a hospital that they now made their new base of operations.
Yes. So,
So you made it.
wake up to Marlene,
Yeah,
actually.
okay, yeah, she fucking survived.
Yeah. So Marlene is talking to you. You're like, all right, where's Ellie? I need to find Ellie. And they're like, she's already going for her operation. And he's like, well, I want to see her before the operation. They're like, yeah, that's not possible. We already got her sedated and everything. And he's like, well, I just want to see her. And he's like, it's just not possible. And then she tells him that the operation is going to kill her. So
Yeah, 'cause
in
it's
order
gotta
to get
remove
the
I can't remember what it's called.
whatever like fungal thing is in her brain that actually
Yeah.
didn't actually trigger her zombie
Like
response.
the growth is still there, but it's not spreading.
Yes.
So
So she did have a little bit of growth. They were going to take that growth out of her brain, but taking that growth out of her brain would kill her. But they said it would help them find a cure.
Yeah.
So it was like one life is worth millions
yeah, which I agree with.
in their eyes.
I was like, Marlene, you got my vote. I'm out of here. Can I have a car?
Joel does not want to
Joel is
see
not as smart as I am.
her dead.
Joel is super not as
So-
smart as I am.
Joel, when he's being escorted out of the building, turns around, kills the guy who was.
I know. I'm like, this poor guy.
Yeah.
He was just doing his job, and I'm the asshole for sure.
And then he runs through the building, killing more people. Runs
Yeah.
actually into the operation room.
People trying to find the cure. Kills the doctor, who is the main cure guy.
And then you can leave the other nurses alive if you wanted
Oh, I
to.
didn't. I thought I had to kill him.
I
was
killed
like,
them all.
What do I do? Because the guy's like, you're an animal. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm an animal. And she's like, don't kill me. And I'm like, well, wait.
So then
Never mind,
all the rest
bam.
of the fireflies come after you. You're trying to escape. You're carrying Ellie's body. You're running away. You end up making it down to the parking garage. And then Marlene.
Yeah, that was actually a sweet part. So let's not run over that part.
yeah.
So this is actually pretty cool. You pick up her body and you have to run from all the, and they don't want to shoot at you because you're carrying the cure.
Yeah.
So like you're running through the hallways and you're trying to avoid them, and they do kind of fire some shots, like I think warning shots more of, because they didn't hit me, but like you're running through these hallways, avoiding them, and going through this room to avoid them.
And this
that room.
was an awesome
Yeah,
thing.
it was a sweet little like runaway part. It kind of reminded me of the end of Halo 1 where you're just on the Warthog getting through. Like I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And you make it to the elevator, and then I'm like, so none of the lights in this place worked because you're using fog lights. Because if you notice, they're all like, but the elevators work.
They must have had enough power for those, or generators for those.
Those take up a shit ton of energy. So I was like, oh my god. So how the fuck did I get it? It's just for the game, but I was like, man, nothing else in here worked. But if you remember in the surgery room, they did have some lights on and the surgery stuff all. So
And the X-ray machines.
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
So they had stuff working. They just had to be selective, I think.
Yeah.
So one of them was the elevators, and it's just that classic scene where like close. It's like a '80s movie where you don't want to ride the elevator with
Yep.
this guy. So you're close.
So then at the end, you have Marlene is in the parking garage, and
yeah.
she points a gun at you and is like, "No, Joel, we need this. We need to get the cure."
Ellie would want this,
And
which I agree. I think she would. I honestly think she would. Like everyone wants life, but at the same time, I think she wanted to save her friends.
so then he ends up killing Marlene.
Oh my god, like, this is gruesome. Actually, this is where I'm like, he is a total fucking dickhole. So and I get it, he did it for a good reason. He did, but
Yeah.
he went about it way hard.
He did go about it way hard. I wonder. I'll tell you a little bit about this. I won't fully. I'm not going to spoil the second game for anyone who hasn't played the second game, but I will spoil one thing.
Do it.
So it didn't matter if they actually were able to get her open. There was no way to get a cure.
Okay, good.
So in the second game, it actually is established that even if they would have done it, they wouldn't have been able to get a cure.
Yeah.
And one of the main bad guys in the next game is actually the daughter of the doctor you killed.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a weird cut now. So she's like, so now give it to me. We can save everyone. And then it cuts to him in a car, almost seemingly alone. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like he made the choice to give her Ellie, but he didn't, because then you hear her like saying, "Oh, where am I?
Yeah.
What am I wearing?" And you're like, they found out that a bunch of people, actually dozens, have the cure in them, and it can't be replicated.
Yep.
Sorry, can't do it. And then it flashes back to him shooting Marlene, and then him walking up to her, and she's like, wait, don't kill me. Don't kill me. I won't do anything. Don't kill me. He's like, no, you'll follow her. And he just shoots her in the face. And I'm like,
Yep.
Joel, dude,
Yep.
come on.
So
She
yeah,
was trying to save the world. You're a dick.
he lies to Ellie
Yeah.
about that.
And then
but later you find out that it was a lie, but it wouldn't have mattered.
It was
but-
a lie bathed in truth or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so. He's such a bad person because then he lies about the cure, and then when you're walking up in Wyoming and you're about to get to the town, she's like, "Tell me, Joel. Tell me you're telling the truth. Tell me that my friends didn't die for nothing. Tell me that they had a bunch of cures and they couldn't replicate it." And he's like, "I swear." And I'm like, "Joel, you fucking had. That was your chance. that was your chance. Tell the truth, and you're
Well,
a fucking asshole.
She brings it up again in the second
Okay,
game.
I figure. She probably brings it up a bunch of times.
There's a big fight with them at the beginning of the second game about
Well, yeah.
this
Why
whole
wouldn't?
entire
Yeah.
thing.
Why wouldn't? Because I would be like, well, why wouldn't we say so I can say hi to my Firefly friends,
Yeah.
the people I know? You said Marlene was there. Yeah. I shouldn't I have been there to say hi to
I
people?
don't know if he ever did say Marlene.
Well,
was there.
if he didn't, like, you would think that she would want to like say hi to people.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. It was such a weird thing to do. Some of this stuff. That's why I think he's an asshole. I'm like, okay, you had a big chance right there.
Well,
right there
and
was your
all
chance
of the
to
people
redeem.
the only person she knew that was there was Marlene.
Yeah.
Because her family is all dead.
Oh yeah, the only
Her
person she knew,
best
but they
friend
were all
was dead.
fireflies, and I think there's like a camaraderie thing going on.
Yes, but
you
all
know?
those fireflies were.
And also
back
she
in
woke,
Boston
and also
were dead.
she woke up. Well, I mean, like they're fireflies, like they're your camaraderie.
Yeah, but they weren't people that
Yeah,
she knew.
not she knew, but they were people who had shared similar
Yeah.
interests and goals. And she woke up with a fucking gown on. It's like, why am I? Did you kidnap me? Like that's what I would think right away, wouldn't you? You'd be like, well, my clothes are changed, and I was clearly in a hospital.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was any like much thought to that. I think that
No, she did, 'cause that's why she brought it
well,
up later,
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like,
because like, well, he even said like they tested you and found there was other
Yeah.
people like
So
you.
then
they
I
didn't
just
need
put you in the
so I
back of
just
this
brought
truck.
You, yeah, and then they end of the game. They start and go back to Tommy's.
Yeah, they go back to the cool city. That was a cool city.
I
like
did
that
like
city,
Tommy's
yeah.
City a lot.
And yeah, that's the whole game. They did. Her story is sad too, because at the end of the game, she's like, you know, when I got bit, I had friends who got bit too, and we all
She
decided.
had one friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was a bunch because
No.
she said there was a bunch of people who ended up dying.
There was
Or
a
maybe
bunch
she
of people
was
ended up
talking about
dying.
different situations.
Yeah, different situations.
Okay.
But
that one friend, she's like, we wanted to wait together.
so I'll go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah.
So the DLC for this game is actually a prequel to the game. You're playing as Ellie before she got bit.
Okay.
So you're in the Fireflies. You and this other girl around your age.
Your girlfriend?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is where they first are really hinting that she's a lesbian. So you're running around, and actually this girl takes you to the mall that was in that town.
Let's go to the mall.
Today. But so they go. She goes to the mall. She finds out there's like a generator someone set up so we can actually go into like some of the stores and play some music and stuff like that. So they
We can
go.
make some noise and attract some not wanted things. Let's do it.
That's exactly what happens. So they go and they're playing around in the mall. They're dancing. They're singing. They're dancing on tables.
And again, this is the part. This is. Dun, 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 dun. When I
This-
got
this
you
would be okay for that.
wrapping around the handle.
So then they share a kiss.
This is the third time it happened.
So they share a kiss, and then they hear the zombies coming. They start running. They start trying to escape. They get pretty far. Like it's another one of those running scenes where they're trying to just run away and trying to get them off of each other, trying to distract them, trying to do all these things.
Really Indiana Jones.
And then you end up. Her friend ends up getting bit, and then they end up escaping. But then her friend's like, "Oh no, I got bit."
Oh, no.
And then Ellie's like, "I got bit too." And then they're like, "Let's wait it out and turn together." So they're holding hands and just waiting till death, holding on to each other. And her friend ends up turning, but she never did. And that's when she first realized she was immune, and she had to
she
escape.
kill her friend?
No, she left her friend.
Oh God, what a bitch!
I don't think she killed her friend.
I hope she.
I don't think she killed a single person until the guy that was drowning Joel.
Yeah. There's a part where Joel is getting drowned by a dude, and she like shoots him in the head.
She shoots him in the back of the head. Yeah.
And then she's freaking out. She's like, I've never done that before.
I've never killed a guy. Oh my god.
And I'm like, you're about to kill like 50 guys.
Yeah, she becomes the most badass character
Yeah.
ever.
So she was the best part of that game for sure.
Yes. Which it was funny. There was a big controversy when this game first came out because Elliot Page now, but was Ellen Page then, swore that the character looked exactly like her.
I can see it a little
And
bit.
there
very
was
little bit.
she
Not on the
just has a
nose, though.
generic face.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Not that she isn't like.
they actually
sorry, he isn't pretty or anything.
Yeah.
But like, that was, I don't know.
So Elliot now, they after all that controversy, they actually went back into the game and redid her face a little bit
Oh really?
to make it a little bit more like Ashley Johnson's face.
No, I didn't even. It didn't matter if it looked a little bit like her or not. It didn't. She didn't act like her at all.
Yeah, but they were trying to avoid the same
Or,
thing that
sorry,
happened
I
with
keep saying
Lindsay
her. It's him.
Lohan. They did the same thing with they're trying to avoid the same thing that GTA had with Lindsay Lohan.
What was Lindsay Lohan?
GTA has a loading screen with a blonde girl with holding up a peace sign, like going like this or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of Lindsay Lohan that she posted that went viral of her in a red bikini holding a peace sign up. So she said that was exactly her, and they didn't get her permission to put that picture on.
No.
And so
I'm sorry.
Elliot Page was fighting for the same thing, and on several interviews, you can go back and find these interviews. She actually was like, "They used my likeness without telling me, and it's rip off and blah blah blah." And she was trying to get the game like.
I feel like I would never be that way.
It's so ridiculous. Like
Like if somebody looked just like, if they had almost the exact same features, be like, all right, can you just throw me some money? I don't want to sue you. Just give me some money. But like this character doesn't have the exact same feature. I saw
No,
the
it's-
original. I didn't
yeah.
even think that. Like, none of the dimensions are the same. Her mannerisms aren't the same. Like
they're completely different
yeah,
people.
it's
Like
just
they don't
completely-
even act the same. or
The
anything,
likeness
but-
isn't the same. The way, yeah, I don't know.
And I think she does kind of look like Ashley Johnson in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
besides the blonde hair.
Yeah, I just think everyone wants their 5 minutes or whatever to
Yeah.
bitch about whatever.
Which actually, all the characters in game were based off the characters who were playing them.
Yeah.
So they actually look a lot like them. There is one other thing that I wanted to share with you and for everybody who's watching. I was actually going to show on the screen you for the first time. This is the Last of Us alternate ending. So there was something you guys should all watch if you guys are fans of Last of Us. There is a Last of Us Live where they actually did a live adaptation of the game, like not the entire game, but a few big key scenes, and they actually did it live on stage with an entire orchestra. Like the orchestra did the music for the game and everything.
This is Lion King the musical.
And so I'm going to go ahead and play that.
We're gonna play it.
Originally, when we did the ending for
Oh.
The Last of Us, it was one long
He's
cinematic
cute.
instead of
That
me
is the
picking up
director
Ellie,
of
playing
the
Right,
game.
through it
he's
and
cute.
running to the hospital.
He's
Look at
pretty
it.
cute.
Look at his
So that's
beard.
how
It's still
it
cute.
played out. Was Joel burst into the operating room, sees Ellie there on the operating table with 3 doctors surrounding her.
And he goes,
grabs
"That's my
one of them
wife."
hostage. Yells at the other two to get away from Ellie. Marlene walks into the room.
Get away from her!
You can't save her. Even if you get her out of here, then
And then we
what?
see Joel shoots and kills the surgeon, shoots and kills the other 2 doctors, and shoots Marlene. And you know, it was one of the most pivotal moments in the story, and we
That
had to
gun
get
was
it
really
right,
real.
make sure the tone was right, all the characters and motivations were coming through. So we did multiple takes, more than we usually do for a scene. And Troy Baker, who played Joel, was really into it. Like a lot of times, he like burst into the operating room and he'd drop his gun.
Damn it.
And he'd be like, "Oh, sorry," and we'd back out and we'd restart the scene. And over the course of the day of shooting it, like that happened 2 or 3 times, and it became kind of a joke.
Pick it up, sorry. Sorry. Keep rolling.
He's just gotta go.
But after like 7
He's
takes,
just like,
we
pick up
got-
my gun
we
for
had a
me. I
really
can't do
soft
it
performance,
myself.
So it felt
Right.
like we could ship the game with that. But I felt like, okay,
The
let's
scene,
do
by the way,
one
is just a
more,
bunch of guys in
just to
mocap
kinda
doing
end our
this right
day.
now.
So I took Merle Dandridge aside. Merle Dandridge is the actress that played Marlene. And I asked her,
Wait, her name's Merle.
I gave her one line of
Marlene.
direction, which will become
Oh,
obvious
yeah,
what
I
has to
think
do
her
once you see
actual
the
name is
scenes.
something.
Is
And I'm like,
Merle.
can you do this with the scene? He's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, all right, don't tell anyone. Just keep that to yourself. And then I went over to Troy Baker and I said, hey, listen, we don't have it yet. We're getting close, but it needs to be more intense. It needs more energy. He's like, okay, I got it. I'm like, you know what? And like, be careful with the gun. He's like, yeah, I know, I won't drop it. I'm like, well, but even if you do, play the scene out. Don't start it from the beginning. He's like, yeah, Neil, I know, but I won't drop it. I'm like, yeah, but if you do, play it through. He's like, I got it, Neil. I'm like, you know what? No matter what happens in the scene,
Yeah.
don't stop. Play it all the way through. He's like,
Listen,
Neil,
I
got
understand.
It.
God
I'm like,
damn
"Okay,
it.
all right." So then I walked over to the side and yelled action, and you're about to see the results of that. But keep in mind, Troy Baker, nobody else except for Merle has any idea what's about to happen. Everything is improvised. Enjoy.
Let's see.
Parker.
Oh, yeah, their likeness there. Not with Joel, but
I mean, kind of though.
Oh,
Just
very-
less of a beard.
Get away from her! Get away!
You can't save her. Even if you get her out of here, what then? What then? She'll be raped and murdered.
wow.
Raped and murdered.
Good.
It's not for you to
Got a
decide.
fucking operatic voice.
It's what she'd want. And you know
It shows the game, and they're not holding anything in the game, which is really funny.
Oh yeah.
So much confusion. I got a man in my arms and a girl with a gun to my head. She's on the table.
Halfway through the table.
Look at her, Joe. Look at her. You can still do the right thing,
This is amazing.
Joe.
She's like holding. You can see like the actual game.
Die! Die!
Why didn't they go with this ending? I don't understand.
Boy. Boy. Please let me go. Please, Joe.
It's like Phantom of the Opera.
You just are my...
Scene.
Come on, Nelly. We gotta go. Did
he just do the-
Let's get you on.
He's crunking it. He's adding some background music.
I will let you die. Your brain is worth more alive.
And scene. But well done, everyone. We've done it. We've gotten the perfect take. This is the ending.
Yes, so that was the alternate kind of fun ending.
Yeah.
So a lot of this game actually was improvised. A lot of the dialogue was improvised by the actors.
Yeah.
So it was written, but they had full improvising rights. So anytime they felt like they should improvise a line, the director let them do it. So there's a lot of things in this game that are actually improvised.
I think they changed the whole game to a musical.
That would have been so cool, honestly. I want a video game musical.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That'd be interesting for sure.
Especially if they did it with like an action
Yeah.
game like that.
That would have been funny if it like showed him choreographing a dance.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly he was singing a love song like Sweeney Todd. I feel you, Joanna.
I mean, because like the only action like musical I've ever seen was one that came out I think 2 years ago. It was called On the Apocalypse. It was a Christmas zombie musical.
Interesting. I don't know if I like that, but okay.
It was very weird.
All right, well that was
Yes.
the whole game, guys.
That
game,
was the entire
that
game.
game was good.
So I guess what is your reviews besides for Joel?
I mean,
what is your reviews
Joel
of
is
the
just
game?
such a piece of shit, but I still think it's worth it. That was a fun game to play through. The little things that didn't make any sense were probably just post production stuff that they didn't really pay a lot of attention to. With video games, it's not like it's like TV shows. You randomly see like coffee mugs and
Yeah.
shows from 100 years ago or whatever. Like I get it. You make mistakes. They probably did the same thing with this one, but I would say worth it still, especially right now. You know, you're never gonna find it at full price anymore.
No.
Yeah, so you'll get it cheap.
Even the remaster that you
Yeah.
can get for $15 now.
Yeah, I feel like it's still worth it at full price though. That was a fun game to play.
Oh,
through.
it's- yeah, you
the
were
story
playing on
just
the
made
remastered.
it. Yeah, the story was just the most worth it of all. So
Yeah. This honestly is probably this game is in my top 5, if not top 3 of all time favorite video games. I've played this game through 7 times. I've played the DLC 3 times. I haven't beat the second one yet, but that's a whole other thing. The second one is so much harder to get through, and it's so much longer. The second one's story mode is 25 to 30 hours. This one's about 14 on your first
Yeah.
playthrough, about 10 if you know what you're doing.
they probably had a more limited budget with this one than they did
Yeah,
with the second
the
one.
second one they had way more
because it got really
budget.
popular. This one did get really popular.
This has got this is one of the highest reviewed video games of all time.
Yeah.
It is one of the best known video games, and I looked it up. It was 2013 this came out.
Okay, yeah. So I was around the right time.
Yeah, I was a little off. You were closer to it, so I apologize for that. So it's been out for 7 years.
Yeah. Still, it just looks amazing for 2013 because
Oh,
a lot
it's
of games that
insane.
came out in 2013 do not look like this.
No,
It's
a lot of
very-
games now don't look as good.
I'm
as
sure
this.
that's where most of their money went, like just trying to make this game look amazing.
Yeah,
So.
and everything in this game was motion captured, which is
Yeah.
why the live performance for this game is actually really cool to watch.
Yeah. So I think now is the the time of video games when almost everything you do is mocapped.
Yes.
It's everything.
Yes.
So
Back
then maybe not so much, but now definitely.
So yes, that was this week's.
Yeah,
I definitely
this one's long. I think this one's probably like an hour and a half.
This is definitely our longest
Yeah.
episode so far. So sorry, you guys
Yeah,
who
there was
have.
a lot to go through with this game. It was a lot of fun.
This is my favorite game of all. One of my favorite games. We're actually going into one of my other top 3 video games of all time next week.
He just picks whatever game he played last and makes it his top 3. That's what it is.
No. My top 3 games of all time are The Last of Us, 2019 Spider-Man, and Super Mario 64.
And next week we're doing Super Mario 64.
No,
so that's
we're
what
not
we're doing.
doing-
He said top 3. That's
No,
what we're doing.
we're not doing my
All
top
right,
3.
We're doing 2019 Spider-Man.
Yes,
That
we
one-
did that because Scott doesn't actually have a PlayStation, so I've had him borrow mine. So I figured we'd do a couple PlayStation games in a
Yeah.
row. So that's why I picked a couple PlayStation games. So
Yeah. So Spider-Man should be fun, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. We want to thank everyone really for listening. If you like us, comment, like. I mean, you don't have to. We just like it that you guys come in and you take us a listen. You know,
Oh, yeah.
as long as you're enjoying the content, we don't really need all that stuff, but it helps us out. So, yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
we love you so much.
This is Soul of a Gamer signing out.
Bye.